views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff and management of WWDB-TV.
I told Del Taco the other day, I'm like, your fries are made with crack. I cannot give them up. I'm like, I have to go through all the time just to get them.
Welcome to SinCityBounty.
.com.
Are we? Is
I
it
didn't
time?
hear it.
We usually have to sing the first part.
Yeah,
Usually, at least you would usually at least take us to Pussy.
The volume turned down because of the Facebook thing. I didn't want to, and I forgot to turn it back up.
Okay. Yes, we were having problems. I couldn't download our video to post it up onto our YouTube because of the music that was on it. But it's not this music. It's the other Gypsy something or Midsummer Night's Dream or whatever it is that you, that little tiny clip.
So, Abby, we have tried from a laptop. Unfortunately, laptops cover boobs, so it's super hard for us to have a laptop on the table because nobody wants to see the laptop. They want to see the boobs.
Even if they are always covered up.
Well, but they can still see our boobs.
So speaking of, we have a Patreon account, and you guys can go there and support us. $1 a month right out of your paycheck. That's awesome. We love it. If you do $5 a month, though, you get to join our super secret Facebook group, which you get to see bathroom selfies from Toxi and
More than I should ever have.
Blue Moon beer shots from Sierra, and it's just great stuff in there. And
I do bathroom selfies too. It's just that mine are sober.
Right, and Wendy likes to post the best memes.
Yeah,
I swear
Wendy's
to God,
got it going
she's
on.
hilarious, right?
Yeah, she does.
But I expect that if you are spending money on us every month, you're not crass. I mean, Patreon, you think of the website Patreon, and you don't really think of crass people.
But if it's Patreon for our show, then it is.
Now,
if you go in there and we're posting our current literature readings
and
quoting, passages.
I have come to realize this because we were asked for boob shots on Patreon in a Patreon message, and I was like, dude. Nudes. He wanted nudes, of course. Boob shots and nudes.
Just so you know, number one, it is against our terms of service to sell nudes through Patreon. It is against our terms of service to give nudes in exchange for Patreon donations. So it's never going to happen, motherfuckers.
But you can contact WWDB.
Of course, Johnny Styles is more than willing to send you topless pics.
Wait, how much is the Patreon donation? I'm just curious.
$500 a month.
Yeah.
And I'll do the show topless.
$500 a month, and Johnny Fever does the show topless.
Even though you don't see him on camera, he will still be topless.
But it'll be our reactions that you were seeing.
We'll make them wear nipple pasties with like flashing lights.
Can you do like I think it's Terry Crews that makes his boobs bounce?
Oh
Is it
yeah.
Terry Crews?
Yeah,
Can you do that?
Oh yeah.
That's not how it works.
Can you imitate what just Johnny Fever just did?
That's just funny.
Although when I do it, it's a little more impressive.
I do this.
Your whole upper body shakes when that happens.
Right.
It's like two angry bulldogs in a sweater. Just.
I don't even bother. Like, if I shake it, these things aren't even slapping against each other. Like, there is no point.
This is the sound of Toxi slapping your tits together.
That is it. And that is probably with a board in between, too.
Margaret says, I feel like such a voyeur when I log into this.
Good, you should.
So that would be rowboating as opposed to motorboating?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's funny.
My tits are like, if you dive in there, you're like kayaking. You're not even gonna motorboat. Like, you're gonna kayak that shit.
This, however, is a luxury ocean liner that won't get you stranded in the middle of the ocean and make you have to shit in the hallway.
Who shits in the hallway? How did we get to that? I didn't see that in the Titanic. Like, in no point in the Titanic does Rose shit in the hallway.
So Here's the thing. Every time you hear about one of these cruise ships getting stranded in the middle of the ocean, the first thing that goes, because it can't keep up, because the first thing people do is they start getting drunk, which means they're going to barf, they're going to pee, and they're going to shit. The first thing that fails on a cruise liner when it gets stuck is the sanitation system.
Oh.
That is the first thing that fails because it becomes immediately overloaded with barf, shit, and piss because everybody's drinking to cure their, oh my God, we're stuck in the oceans. And then people are like, let's go on a cruise. And I'm like, no.
I wouldn't be one of those. And do you want to know why? Surprisingly, because I'm too cheap to get the alcohol package, and their per drink cost is just astronomical.
Most
No. But when you
cost
break down,
per
they
drink.
give you booze for free.
Oh, they do now.
Yeah, all the
Most
drinks
packages
are free.
now.
That
It's
happened
been
to us.
years.
Yeah.
Can I just chime in?
Yeah.
You have to come over to a mic.
You get the amber colored Listerine, rinse it out like a month or two ahead of time, fill it with rum, they're none the wiser.
That's
Actually, there are specifically flat pack silicone pouches for inside your suitcases now, specifically for that.
Really?
Yeah,
I had
that's
friends
smart.
who, when I went on a cruise, I took my ex-mother-in-law. She was my mother-in-law at the time. It was her and I and a bunch of my guy friends on this cruise together. So I was there like with a bunch of dudes and my mother-in-law, and that's what they did. They all snuck their alcohol on. Except one thing, like one was in a shampoo bottle or something, and he didn't rinse it too well. So it's like soapy vodka.
Gross.
So,
Just so you
yeah.
know, the show is going to be called Cruise Booze.
Cruise booze. I'm cool with that.
That 2 cents that you just heard that we didn't introduce, that was our friend Jez, who doesn't want to be on film, camera, what have you.
Right now.
So she looks really adorable laying on the couch, though.
I know.
Hey!
And many of
Louise,
my
Louise from the Geek Lounge is watching. Hi, Louise.
See, I don't have anything here.
Really? I just got it.
Yeah.
It just popped up on mine.
All right.
And many of my best crazy stories actually involve this woman. So,
Yeah, I've actually got at least 2 really good stories out here.
Do you think we could take some selfies? Are you up with?
Totally.
Okay, so we'll have some selfies. Maybe
Later.
we'll post them over on our Patreon, only under the $5 mark. So only people who pay us $5 will get to see you.
See, that's awesome.
she's an entrepreneur, so you could be on board with that. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. I constantly keep telling her she needs to charge money for it, just like you do me.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship at its finest.
I want to take a cruise, but I want to take a Mediterranean cruise. I figure I've heard all the stories about the Mexico cruises. Alaska, I've never heard the stories about the Alaska cruises breaking down.
I'll tell you about an Alaska cruise. I used to work for travel insurance. We sold insurance for all of the cruises. Alaska cruises, basically, no matter how old you are, you will be the youngest person on that ship.
Fuck yeah. Let's do it. That's my dating ground.
You will have that fucker's not going to break down. Like that fucking ship will stay going no matter what.
I figure.
And you will have all of the alcohol you want because they're all in bed by 4. So
I figure if you're going to Alaska, it's fucking cold and nothing grows. In the cold,
what are you gonna
right?
do? What do
So one of those Viking cruises, maybe through the fjords or something.
I'm all down for an Alaskan cruise. That I can do. Because that thing cruises like the coastline. They don't go out into the ocean. So if you break down, you just get on a boat and row the fuck back out to the land and call the fucking heli and just be like, I gotta come get me, bitches. Come get me. I am not shitting in the hallway.
And it's not like there's a fear of running into a glacier.
Not anymore.
Climate change.
I mean, you could run into Russia, but not.
You know, honestly, with the current relations between the United States and Russia, I'm not really worried about that. I just put on my fake MAGA hat and I'll be like, peace, I'm good, I'm good.
You're like, I know Sarah Palin.
She can see you. She's right there.
So yeah, if you happen to take the Alaskan cruise, it is very much full of elder individuals who love taking Alaska cruises.
Very cool.
A lot of the Mexico cruises.
I like older people.
That's what my aunt
Me
did. She
too.
did the Alaskan cruise.
Yeah, I like him in a different way than you do. But yeah.
I'm like, will your hip dislocate easily? That's sexy.
You're gonna be the one on the Lido deck giving 90-year-olds blowjobs.
If only because, okay, so this is a perfect segue. So I joined Match.com again. And I paid for it. Because I was like, well, I'd like to be able to respond and actually like maybe meet someone. So I did. I met someone. And I thank God I didn't give them any information about the show. They know that I do a show, but I didn't tell them what. So we went on one lunch date. It was 45 minutes tops. He was a nice guy. He showed up with flowers, which I should have known immediately meant that this was not going to head anywhere for me because that's way too nice. So he showed up with flowers. He was a nice enough guy, and I do the thing that I do on a first date, which I just fucking babbled because I'm socially awkward. I have no ability to be smooth or cool because I'm like, I think you're cute. Like, that's me in real life. So we go on a date, and so I'm just babbling away, and we're eating ramen at a really nice, not like really nice, but a really good ramen house.
Can I stop you for one moment?
Yeah.
Who the fuck picks ramen on a first date? Do you know how messy that shit is?
Have you ever eaten real ramen?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I
But
do.
Who picks on a first date? I can't
do.
keep that shit in my mouth, let alone.
I didn't go on a date with you. I went with an adult.
But it's just, it's like you went and had spaghetti. Like, that's just so messy.
It's not if
You
you
might
mean
as
it
well
right.
show your true colors right from the get-go.
Right. Well, number one,
you
I
have to
need
ask for
someone.
a bib,
So
come
this
on.
this is a great like segue. This is a great like icebreaker for me. Sushi or ramen is a great way for me to tell if it's going to go anywhere. Because if we go and they order the blandest thing on the menu, this isn't going to work out, right? Like if we go and they order California rolls, I'm like, but there's a spicy butthole girlfriend roll you could totally order. If you've ever been to an all-you-can-eat sushi place, you know what I'm talking about. They got the weirdest named sushi rolls.
Love them.
But no, so he ordered one that I suggested, and then he ate it wrong. Like, he used the spoon, and that is not how you eat ramen. The spoon is to go under the noodles so that you don't splash it all over yourself while you're eating the noodles. Like, that's what the spoon is for. And then you lift it up and drink the broth. But
Like, so you're sitting there with somebody who's like slurping broth. They're like,
no, he was using the spoon and trying to get those big-ass, fat, real ramen noodles up on that spoon to eat it. And I'm just like, I'm just going to eat my food and use my chopsticks to eat my kimchi, which I had ordered to go with my Japanese curry, which I had ordered because I wanted that because I just had ramen like 2 days before that. But anyway, so he ordered what I suggested, which is fine because it's a little bit spicy and it's not a normal ramen. It's the Tantan Men at Fukumimi. Please go visit them when you're in town. They're fucking amazing. That was not paid for. And then immediately after, he's texting like, it was fine. It was a great date, but he tried to hug me for longer than I wanted to. And then I was like, okay, you know, it's first date, whatever. He doesn't really know. I'm not a touchy person or whatever. But he's texting me immediately afterwards. I really liked you. I'd like to go on a second date. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I would like that, too. That would be fine. I'm fine. It wasn't a terrible date. It does not immediately exclude a second date.
have you considered a taser for when the hug goes too long?
I don't need to. I'll throat punch a bitch.
She will bite a motherfucker.
But
will.
I feel like it's so. It's
if
much
they're
more
that
polite.
close, no, listen.
If you reach out and you're like,
If you're willing to go in that close to someone, the motherfucker's gonna get an ear bit off.
Listen, if they are that close, you put one knuckle out and you punch them right in the side of the throat. And if you collapse the carotid artery, they'll die. And if you don't, they'll choke and run away.
I'm like, I wouldn't want to mess with her. Man, she was in the armed services. She could kill you with a taser.
Let's go on a date, everybody.
Tasering seems so much safer,
so
much politer. All you have to do is just pull it out of your pocket.
It was just
and be
a
like
moment
hugging too
much
long.
longer, right? It wasn't like he lingered.
no, he didn't
Yeah.
try to hold me. As soon as I pulled back, he let go. But his hand slid off me instead of being taken off me. That kind of thing. It's just touching for too long. And then he sent me a couple of texts, and then I had a busy ass weekend. In case you did not know out there, between January 2nd and January 20th, I have 1 day off, and that was last Saturday. And I filled it with my kid because I hadn't seen him in like a week and a half. So we went out. We went to the reptile expo that was here in town. We bought a gecko. For those of you who are nerds out there, his name is Trico. No nerds in the room? Okay, good. So it's a Pokemon reference. Had a great time, and then I had another thing to do Saturday night, a craft night. Brought the kid with me. We had a great time. And then I get a text like, so was this, are you not interested? There's like a blah, 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 blah. And I'm like,
I'm pretty sure on the date you told him that you were working your ass off at 8 hours a week.
I did. I told him that I work 2 jobs. I have 1 day off this week. It's Saturday. I'm planning on filling it with my kid. Blah, blah, blah. I really only have time for lunch dates. I'm not looking for anything serious, just something casual. I went through the whole fucking spiel, right?
On the date.
On the date.
Which means the motherfucker didn't listen.
On the text messages leading up to the date, in the conversations, on the Match app leading up to the conversations, and text message leading up to the date. Poof. Okay? I'm very open with this shit. I don't have time for your trifling ass. Just I want to go out to lunch. If I like you enough, I'll go to a movie. If I like you enough, I'll suck your dick. Like, that's how it's going to work.
That's how it progresses.
I think I want to eat trifle now.
Trifling asshole. So, it was fine. I was like, I was just really busy this weekend. I'm very sorry. Actually, I don't think I said I'm very sorry. I said I was just really busy this weekend. I thought I'd told you that I had 2 jobs. Saturday was my only day off. I've been spending it with my kid. And then I work tonight. Blah, 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 blah. So that's fine. I was like, I do want to go on a second date with you. And so we've had a couple of small conversations, and we'd set up for lunch on tomorrow, on Wednesday. Which actually, I think I have to cancel it because my Wednesday got slammed at the end of my day today. And so I may have to call him and cancel it. I may be canceling it even if I wasn't fucking busy tomorrow. Because we start texting today. And he asked me what my favorite sexual positions were. Because I told him I need kink. You cannot be vanilla. You don't have to be like card carrying, whip slinging, crack owning. Like,
but it doesn't hurt.
It doesn't
like hurt. It doesn't hurt.
But you have to at least be able to explore. Like if that's not ever a possibility, then it can't go even to a first date. Like I don't even want to waste the time on a first date if you are not interested in at least exploring. Every guy will say he's interested right up until you're like, well, I like to bleed. And they're like, what? And you're like, no, never mind then. Have a nice day. So.
Do you really like to bleed?
No one's ever been able to do it. So I don't really know. But it's a really great question, a really great statement to lead with.
It is.
Because if a guy's like, well, I might be able to handle that, I'd be like, all right, let's do this. Popcorn and a movie.
It's so different because on I have like hard nose.
Yeah.
Hard nose.
And bleeding is one of them.
Like the very first one I say is like blood.
No, mine is.
If you accidentally scrape me with your watch and I start bleeding,
done.
I'm out.
We're done. That's it. I said no blood.
Hell no.
You did not respect my words.
Actually, one of the things I want to do is topical piercing, where it's not a permanent piercing. It's a temporary piercing that creates a pattern or
yes,
whatever.
Aren't those cool?
Oh, those are so beautiful.
There's a bunch of those on FetLife. Beautiful pictures.
I know somebody in town who doesn't. I just have to get in like.
I want them to do the one that they lace it up so you're back.
No.
That's so cool.
Okay.
No,
So-
or then they hang. I've seen the ones with the hooks that they'll hang.
Yeah,
I'm going
one's
to read
kinda
you
too much.
this. I'm going to read you what I sent back after he asked me what my favorite sexual positions were. I said, let me preface the rest of this conversation with this. In the past, I have found that when talking to potential partners, especially the men, Q right there, buddy, not just men, especially the men, that when I begin talking about my sexual proclivities, they begin to assume that it means that we will have sex. This is not the case. I am able to speak openly and honestly about my sexual preferences. This does not mean that I want to engage with sex with everyone that I discuss with them with. While I do not mind talking about them, I hope you can understand my reticence in discussing them so early in a conversation with someone. And he said, yeah, I understand. And I said, if sexual compatibility is crucial to you, I'd be happy to answer any questions so long as you are prepared for the answers and any follow-up questions I will have. And so he goes in to ask me about my favorite position, and I was just like, doggy style, I can do missionary, but. And he's like, do you have any fetishes? And I said, I have a few. I said, and by few I mean it's easier for me to list what I'm not into, which is basically poop, animals, and degradation. And he says, yeah, me neither. And I'm like, you probably don't even know what that shit is. And then he asked me if I'm looking for love or just companionship. And I'm like, just companionship right now. And he says, I want love. And I said, I found that my love needs are well met with my friends. And we go in to have this conversation where he's like, well, does that mean you're never going to allow yourself to have feelings for a guy? And I said, I didn't say that. I said, I'm not looking for love. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And he goes, sounds like you have a big guard up. And I'm like, I hate it when people say that. I don't have a guard up. I'm open to the option of it happening. I'm just not fucking looking for it. You know what I want? I've decided. I figured out what I want. I don't want to be someone's emotional support. And that's exactly what I'm going to end up being for this motherfucker. I've done enough of that. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, I have been enough of somebody else's only source of emotional fucking support. Bitches, find friends, okay? Find some friends. Find some fucking friends you can talk to.
I also know what else you don't want to be.
What?
You don't want to be a teacher.
I don't want to be a teacher. No. I teach enough of the people what I want to teach. I don't want to have to teach you things I don't need to teach you. I don't need a fuck buddy. Honest to God, if I want to get laid, my ass is headed to the studios. It'll take me 2.5 seconds to find someone to fuck me. I won't even have to get all the way in the door. I'll find someone in the fucking parking lot.
Wait, you can find someone who already has their reservation down on a room and just expedite this shit. Like,
I could just wait. Some guy could be like headed in with a chick, and I'd be like, "You guys want a partner?" And they'd be like, "Sure." Like that. I can get laid. No fucking problems.
By a dude and a chick.
I don't have problems getting laid as long as I lower my bar. See? Just such standards low, anyone can get laid. But I also don't want to be in a serious, committed, long-term monogamous relationship. Maybe ever again. Maybe something long-term and somewhat casual, and I don't care if you fuck other people. Like, let's do the movies once a week. Let's hang out. Let's snuggle. Oh, look, the percent meteor shower is happening. Let's go do that. Like, something like that.
You want one of us that's willing to fuck you. That's what you want.
That's what I want.
You want...
Yeah.
Anyone sitting at this table is what you want.
Yeah.
Who's willing to fuck you.
I want a friend that I can fuck. That's exactly what I want. I want a friend I can fuck. And I am not, like, beholden to you, like, and you're not beholden to me. Like, it would be a mutually exchangeable kind of thing. It would be like, I'd like to fuck tonight, not tonight. Okay. I'd like to fuck tonight. Sure, let's do this. Like, that kind of thing. I don't want it to be like, well, I don't want sex to become a weapon ever again in one of my relationships. Ever. Like, I never want to hear, you never want to have sex with me. No, motherfucker, it's because I work 80 hours a week. Yeah, no, I don't. I'm tired. My brain's so tired, my vagina's asleep.
Oh my God!
You gotta know how to wake your vagina up.
You know what? If
Sure.
I've had my leg fall asleep a lot, and it tingles, and when it comes back
You ever
alive,
get it like one vagina lip starts to tingle?
that'd be kind of awesome. I
It's
think.
happening right this moment.
I have had one leg, because I have one hip that's kind of weird and out of whack, and when my sciatica gets pinched, I have one vagina lip that gets all tingly, and then when it starts coming back alive, I'm like, whew.
I have. What happens here is my ass doesn't, like, I'm tipped on the chair a little. Like, can you see I have to push my feet up?
Yeah.
To hold myself up because my ass sits so high. I can't sit on the chair normal.
Glorious.
And what happens is, like, my leg starts to numb. It's like an upper thigh thing. And it does. It goes right into my vagina.
And then when that starts to come back, aren't you just like,
and it's like, but it doesn't until after the show, and like I'm up and I'm stretching and everything. Like right now, I'm like, God, my left vagina lip is closed.
So now we know. Right after the show is done, when she's over there in the corner, pretending to look in the mirror and take selfies, she's actually orgasming over her vagina coming back from being asleep.
I love it.
it's a waking vagina orgasm. Those are wonderful.
I didn't know other people had that happen, just to share.
One day, I go on one date for match, and I am already vastly disappointed. All of the really like guys that I'm like, I really want to go on a date with this guy. No answer.
Well, okay, let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. The date wasn't horrible.
No.
No one was stood up. It wasn't awful. You didn't get there and he was douchebag McDoucherton McGee.
No.
No, you didn't get, punched. You weren't there eating your ramen and his wife comes in and, starts fighting. True. Nobody spilled their ramen. He didn't slurp so loud that it drove you to shove a chopstick in his eye.
It's actually
all of this,
proper etiquette to slurp while you
I can't. Then I will not be there.
Okay.
No.
That bugs you too. I think we're two pieces of
No.
Noise the hell out of me.
No.
Sounds like blowjobs.
Blowjobs are one thing.
But I do have to say you're brave for going out and dating. I was on like 4 different ones for promoting my modeling stuff back when I was still modeling, but I don't think I've ever actually been on any site, POF or anything, Match.com for me. Oh no, there was. What was that? The SB, the some little site. Anyways, I was on one of them, but I'm afraid to meet people that way. How do you know they're telling the truth?
So on the way home, I realized that at the end of every adult decade in my life, in my late teens, my late 20s, and now my late 30s, I have been single and slutting it up. Like that's it's like every 10 years it's just like, oh, you so at 49 y'all just be ready because I'm gonna be single and slutting it up.
And she'll carry lube.
Yeah,
because she'll be 49.
Because I'll be 49. I need lube now. It's fine.
So I'll tell you, I'll kind of answer your question because I'm one of the most cautious daters.
Yes, you are.
Possible. I don't want to die. And I never want to be that woman who, is up. By the way, just really quick, totally, if you guys have not watched Dirty John yet, off of Bravo, fucking watch it. But one of the guests we were going to have on our show, her friend it's based on a true story. It's based on her friend, and it'll blow your mind.
What's the name of it again?
Dirty John. And it has to do with somebody this woman met on an online dating site. So anyway, I'm very cautious, and I do kind of joke that I never want to be a lifetime story, but now apparently there is a lifetime story, so that ship has sailed. I talk to them a lot more. Like, I never talk to someone and then go. I will never go and just meet someone after, talking for a few hours or what have you.
It's got to be a couple of days at least.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I also tend to find if someone is willing to add me on Facebook, whether it's, I don't usually add somebody unless, I think they're good people.
Okay.
On my personal, I will add every fucking one on my Toxi.
Yeah.
Like,
ain't discriminatory.
Right? You scroll through that Toxi page, you are going to find the souls of many men who never made it that far. And even ones who did and still, hang out for a while. But I tend to find if they say, oh, I don't use social media, 9 out of 10 times they're married.
Yeah.
That's why they don't use social media.
And you can't find them because the username is the husband and wife together.
Well, no, there's ways to.
I'm just teasing.
There's ways to find them, and I had friends who sat me down
right
in the beginning, and they're like, "Here's what you need to do," and kind of showed me. But anyway, if they're willing to add you on, Facebook or some form of social media, there's a good chance that
they're up front.
Okay. Unless you can tell. And I learned my lesson. There was a guy, he added me on Facebook. He only had a few friends, not many pictures. Totally fake. I found out later, totally different name, house, wife, child, all of that.
Wow.
So anyway, and I thought, well, I had him on my Facebook, he must be okay, but it was really a fake profile. Yeah, it was a fake profile. But I do find that right there will eliminate anything. Not anything. That will eliminate those who are not who they say they are.
Okay.
Kind of right up front. So.
Okay.
Yeah, if within the first 3 messages they give you their phone number, nope, that's done. I'm done. Thank you. No, I don't need to talk to you anymore.
But you can take the number and search it.
Yeah. There are so many other ways to talk to people.
Exactly.
You never need a phone number. If they have a Facebook,
every single dating app has a chat function in it. Now, some of the dating apps like Match, you have to actually pay to chat on. And that's why that's why I pay for it, because I'm like, I don't like, I did the free one for a little while and it annoyed the crap out of me because guys would be like, oh, I think you're really pretty, here's my dick, and it'd be like
I also found, not that I don't pay for any now, but in the beginning I did, and I paid for it because I felt that others who also paid for the site weren't necessarily, you know,
calls.
right.
Like,
they were
it was
on
like
their,
being on Patreon.
right, like they were
Not
willing
so
to
crass.
pay because they, you know, they're kind of
A
in it
little
for the
more
right reasons.
serious.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And not as many people who are going to create a fake profile because they're going to get off on sending you their dick pic. They're not usually going to pay for a dating site.
yeah, because
So-
they can send dick pics in a million other
Yeah.
ways. They don't have to pay for it.
When you date, you know, in the beginning when I was dating, every date I went on, she would have, you know, who it was with, the information, you know, blah, 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 all of that. And then in the very first few, she was like, I need you to snap me a photo while you're sitting there. So every time I was kind of like, and sending it to her so she knew. I kind of changed it up now. I actually have, I have a tracking app that I
So
have
do
a
I.
friend who has the ability to, you know, see where I'm at, and then
Yeah, we
You
used
know, know if
we used
911
the
needs to
tracking
be
one
called.
for driving. Because I almost got assaulted one night. So we researched some apps, and my group of people, there's 6 of us, we use this WhatsApp. So when I'm out driving, I can share my location for either 15 minutes, an hour, or my 8-hour shift. And
Right.
that way, if we use the hands-free Marco Polo. Oh, sorry, the hands-free Marco Polo. So if I ever come up and say, "Hey, I need help," and then that's it, they can just go into the WhatsApp and find me wherever I am in town. So
Yeah, it's all about, you know, just making the safe choices. Like, clearly you don't want to meet a guy in a hotel room for the first time.
oh, well,
You don't want to
like
go to
so
his
much
house.
fun.
You don't want him to come to your house. You know, public places in the daytime. Don't meet someone at 2:00 in the morning at a park. Not that I've known anyone who's done that. Unless you know how to kill a man with a knuckle punch. So,
yeah, it's probably safe to say, like, don't go and meet somebody in a bathroom in a public park in the middle of the night.
yeah,
Like, there's
if they're like,
nothing.
I own an
No.
abandoned warehouse out in. I have an abandoned warehouse out in the middle of the woods. We can go do some kinky shit. But like, bitch, I don't even know your last name. That ain't happening.
And you know what? And I've seen some guys try to finagle the whole let's meet in this private place kind of thing. I'm not off during normal hours. I work weird hours, and they try to tell you, you know, I don't know if it's trying to lure you or they just want you. I don't know. Don't fall for it.
No.
There are too many other guys out there.
Listen, I work damn near 80 hours a week, and I found the time to meet someone in a public place in the daylight. Everyone can find the time to meet someone in a public place in the daylight.
And if they won't meet you during the day, it does not mean they're a sexy vampire. Don't do it. Don't trust
Yeah,
it.
Edward Cullen does not exist.
But I
And
am a
is not
sexy vampire.
Totally.
Yeah, she said sexy vampire.
Yes, yes.
I only work when the sun's down.
Here's the other thing. For me, I go to a lot of event type things, and I usually post when I'm going somewhere on my Toxi page. So I have no problem if there's someone, and I know I'm going to be out, and I know I'm going to be with friends. If you know, if they show up there, then hey, we can meet. That's
I used
great.
to do that when me and Jezebel would go
Yeah,
out.
and
Hey,
if we
there.
don't click, I can guarantee I can. I got plenty of friends here.
I'm like, hey.
Funny.
So, yeah, I'm just not. I was excited, and now I'm not excited.
Will you please text us if you do cancel on him tomorrow and how he
Well,
reacts?
she already needs
Yeah.
to.
I need
it
to
already needs
tonight.
to be done. She's already said that.
Yeah, I need to tonight because
There's-
there's a message I need to reply to that's been sitting there for a couple of hours because I don't want to reply to it because I need to calm the fuck down. Because one of the things he asked me, did you like the flowers I brought you? And I said, yes, they were very nice. And he was like, I wanted to make you blush. And I'm like, well, it takes a lot more than that to make me blush. And he goes, not even hugs and kisses? And I'm like, bitch, please.
Yeah, so
I literally said, I have no shame and I give no fucks. It takes a lot more than flowers to make me blush.
So here's the deal, and I'm not, trust me, I'm not the dating expert, but again, I'm a very cautious dater. Just cut it now. It's not,
Yeah.
your time's valuable. And whether or not he's a match for you, he's still a person, his time's valuable. It's obviously not a thing that's going to work. Like,
Not a connection.
right. So just,
It's not going to
That's
happen.
it,
Yeah,
just-
because number one, I feel like he's going to fall into the same place as the last guy I went on a couple of dates with, which was he's way too nice for me. And he he needs an emotional support animal.
If he wants
and
to
I'm
make
not
you
going to be
blush.
that it.
I have a feeling that he's too caught up in himself and he's not even listening to you.
I think what he's looking for is a demure, giggly geek girl, and that is not me. No, I am the girl who, if I played MMOs, as soon as I slaughtered your ass, would throw down to the controller and be like, "Yeah, motherfucker, that's it. I can see you." Like that. I am not a demure. I want to battle in Fortnite. That is not me. That'd be like, "Yeah, bitches, fuck you, motherfuckers." Like that's me as a gamer, and that is not, I think, what he was expecting. Like, I think he was expecting, I like anime, and I would say, no. When I cosplay, I put on a Klingon forehead and tell you I'm going to bite you. Like that is how I cosplay.
I also one of the things for me is that if you have a set rules for yourself, and this one I learned the hard way. I've kind of touched on it here before. But if you have set rules for yourself, like I don't do this, I don't do this, I just have some set rules again to keep myself safe. And I don't want to waste their time and I don't want to waste my time. Don't deviate from them, because I'm telling you, the moment you do,
no exceptions.
Oh, yeah, because I have before.
Make it no
exceptions.
exceptions.
So, yeah, no, I know.
And I like to say, like, oh, you make it an exception if it's the right guy and blah, blah, blah. But there are certain things that you need to hold true to. Like, for example, I would never leave a bar or an event with somebody. And I did.
That you just met, right?
That I just met.
Exactly.
And I did one time. And
sorry, my gamer.
it was not good. It was not good. It ended very, very not well.
No, I'm not settling.
Yeah.
Like,
so don't.
I just want a friend.
Here's what you want. You know what you want. That's it.
You know what? It's really simple what I want. I don't know why guys and girls want to fucking overcomplicate the matter. It's like, listen, I just want a friend. Occasionally we fuck. Sometimes we go do like girlfriendy, boyfriendy stuff without all that crap that goes with it. Like,
that's awesome.
So Bree says, I wish I had the balls for online dating. I'm chicken. I keep thinking I'll meet someone soon in real life. I'm a big fan of going out with people who I am introduced to. I keep asking my friends to introduce me to people, but
you hit that point where there's no one for your friends to introduce you to. Like,
right. No, I understand that. Because it's kind of like a vouch. Like, hey, this is my friend. You guys should hang out sometime or something. That's a vouch from someone that you care about.
Right. I would love for that to happen. The reason I can't do that for you guys is because I have no friends except you. And I could be like, hey, Toxi, I met this really amazing girl. Her name is Elexia. I think you guys would really hit it off. But there will be no carpet munching in that relationship, so what's the fucking point?
I know. The times have changed. We're also social media friends now. We don't hang out a lot. But I have been asked about certain people that people meet, and I'll vouch for people. I know a lot of people. My mom always tells me I know too many people.
There's a very popular comedy show on YouTube, College Humor, if anyone's heard about it. Mm-hmm. They have a video they put out 6 months to a year ago called My Friends Are the Worst. And it's about like someone be like, oh, so-and-so's kind of cute. And then like somebody listing, oh yeah, he's a great guy, but his politics suck, and this sucks, and that sucks. And I feel like that's all my friends when friends ask me, or new acquaintances ask me, and they're like, oh, what about that girl Elexia? I'm like, oh, she's amazing. She's my best friend. She's like a sister to me, but she's super judgy. Like,
so,
be like,
really quick.
Toxi, amazing, great ass, wonderful smile, alcoholic.
Abby says, online dating is the worst. Margaret says, I don't trust them anymore. Words are lies.
So I want to stop right there, and I want to touch on something that we actually talked about last week as well. One thing that if you're going to date, you have to keep in mind, if you go in with the mindset that every person on there is a liar, it's not going anywhere. Because you're going to look at every single person as though they're a liar. Like
you're going to be house, but dating.
You're going to look for what it is you think. No, not everyone on there is a liar. I mean, regular, everyday people are on there. You just have to find them.
Well, think of it. You yourself are on there.
That's exactly what I was just trying to verbalize and couldn't. You yourself are on there. We all have friends who are on there. We know our friends are good people. You know what I'm saying? So we know that good people are on there.
Yeah, not everybody's terrible. It's just that everybody who likes me is terrible. So far, all the guys who have liked me, I'm opening them up, and they're like, mega! Or they're like, you know, there's giant stuff on their pictures that I'm not comfortable with. Or they're like, they use...
Giant stuff is in, like, what, penises?
No, I'm totally comfortable with that. No, I mean, you know, like, enormous signs of semi-political, semi-religious organizations that I'm not particularly comfortable with associating with. And then... you know, or they'll spout some shit that's clearly borderline homophobic or something like that. And I'm like, how come none of the super forward-thinking progressive guys like me? Like, do I not eat enough kale for your ass? I eat bacon. That's like a popular thing right now, right? The bacon thing.
So for some
Not
people.
as popular as kale.
I mean, I'll
Wait. You're saying that kale is more popular than
For
bacon?
the type of guys she's referring to.
Oh, I got it.
For the type of guys, probably good chance most of them are vegan. So kale's like, if you throw out like a munching on some kale chips and shit.
Yeah,
that's
see,
how you
Bree
bring them
says,
in.
my sister met her husband on Match.com. Actually, a really good friend of the show, Rodney, met his new wife through Match.com.
Oh, nice.
And they are like the most perfect couple.
I have a great friend, and he met his wife. I don't know if it's Match.com, but he met his wife online, and they've been married for years.
Everyone has stories of people they know who met others online. So the people are out there. They're out there. It's shitty to categorize everyone as one. So if we say, like, every guy on there is a liar, every guy is horrible, it's only, you know, crazy dudes. Trust me, the dudes aren't saying we're all crazy.
No.
They are.
They just like other people. They just don't like me.
They're saying we're all crazy. I always ask guys, like, what do you get, you know, when you're on dating sites? And they tend to, that's one of the things they say.
You just, Abby says you just got to filter through all the crap.
Right, and you have to be
I
willing.
don't take the time to filter through the crap. I don't even like the crap in my own life, so it's like I just ignore it. I walk through life
I think with
blindfold
anything good that you want, that you have in your life, is something that you have to work for anyway.
Yeah.
True.
So, what's the axiom? If you want something done right, you got to do it yourself.
Exactly.
Right. And if you go in,
That's why
honestly,
masturbating is so popular.
I know somebody asked me the other day, do you have a boyfriend? I'm like, I'm not seeing anybody currently. But yeah, I have a boyfriend. It's a Bob. Always there available for me. Only yells at me if I forget to charge his battery. Or I only yell at him when I forget to charge his batteries. So.
Nice.
Julie says, no matter how or where you meet someone, there is good and bad everywhere. Catfish are hiding online. If you are open-minded and ready and open for live, then take the risk.
Catfish are hiding in real life. I mean, for what I do separate from here as a profession, you would be surprised at how many people lie about their life, their career, their education, their experience in certain things. It happens. Does everyone do that? Absolutely not. But it's not something that's, you know, limited to online dating. It could be, you could introduce me to your friend, you know, Jim Bob, and you could think he's the greatest guy on earth, but it could, you know, really turn out that Jim Bob's got
he loves too much sci-fi too much, and she does not like sci-fi.
No. It's a tough one.
It is.
Listen, so we've had discussions about non-geeks dating geeks. The only thing you have to do is be tolerant of their geekness. You don't have to partake in their geekness. Like, occasionally, like, if they want to go to Comic-Con, go, because I'm going to tell you it'll blow your fucking mind. But you don't have to dress up.
But
you go and carry the
about
backpack, and they go do the weird shit, and you just walk around and ogle all the hot guys dressed as Spartans from 300.
Right?
Like, we've talked about that before. Like, I'll go with you to Comic-Con, and maybe I'll go to the beach while you're at Comic-Con. And afterward, I will ask you all about it, and then I'll give you a blowjob. Like, that's like, you look really tired from it. Let me give you a massage and a blowjob. And you can leave your shield and sword in your hands if you want.
And that is how geeks and non-geeks should date.
Oh, check this out. Lisa says, I met my husband on Craigslist.
You know what? One of the nicest guys I ever dated, I met on Craigslist. It just didn't work out because the timing was just really terrible between the two of us. But one of the super nicest guys I ever met that I dated was on Craigslist. We're still friends on Facebook, but he's like never on there.
One of you motherfuckers said, agreed with how men are shit online. Bitch, you're married. What are you doing? What are you doing?
I think you just got your ass called out.
Oops.
Again, we don't want to categorize everybody. Like, we don't want to lump everyone into one. If you have a bad experience with one guy, 5 guys, 10 guys, it doesn't mean all guys are bad.
Just be
Generally,
safe.
I find if it's 5 guys at a time, there's not enough time for anyone to be a bastard.
You're going to get stories, especially if
5
you're
at a
watching
time.
out for yourself, especially if you're checking to make sure that all the I's and T's are dotted and crossed. You plan the dates to be somewhere public. You're going to run into walls. And you're going to have the stories to be able to tell. But that's going to be part of your repertoire of stories.
You're going to have all the stories to tell. Like, I have plenty of stories to tell. I've shared some on our website. I have plenty more that I haven't, shared yet.
The hell, this show started because of those goddamn stories.
Right?
Yeah,
But
10 years ago, mind you, 10 years ago when I was single in my late 20s.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, guys.
I remember.
They probably have just as many stories about us. Like, I can guarantee you that there's stories floating out there about how, different things I've done or what have you.
We have a friend of the show, Jacob, has a story about a girl who brought her baby on the date, and he bought her diapers and ran.
Yep.
Like, that was the date.
I love
Crazy
that.
bitches.
Story.
We do weird things. Like, we're weird daters as
Women
well.
are
Honestly,
women are
we're weird daters.
Listen, I've dated the spectrum. Women are fucking just as bad as men are. They are just as thirsty and they are just as angry when you tell them, I am not the bottle of water for you. Sorry.
As Johnny's drinking some water.
Doesn't he look like he's from the Mirror Universe?
Yeah.
Guys, really fast, speaking of geeky things, I totally watched Aquaman over the weekend.
But that you didn't watch that to be geeky. You watched it because Jason Momoa is half naked throughout
I don't
that
know
movie.
who Jason Momoa is. That's the thing. I mean, I know who he
What?
is from. I've never watched anything he's
Oh,
been in.
God.
Yeah, you've
So
watched
I didn't
Baywatch.
I've watched Baywatch back when David Hasselhoff was
That's
in it,
when
but
he
I don't
was in it.
fucking remember the people from it.
Yeah, Jason
Like,
Momoa
I
was
wouldn't
in it.
remember that. However, there is no denying he's hot, so I get it. I actually went to see it because we were seeing my daughter and I and one of her friends were seeing Bohemian Rhapsody again, which is an amazing movie, but again, and we snuck into Aquaman. So it was kind of an amazing movie because it was free.
How did you even do that? Like, it's almost impossible to sneak into movies
Because
anymore.
some theaters don't have the recliner chairs. And if you end up at one of those, I feel, and I was very, very anti-sneaking into movies. Like, even my daughter was shocked when I went into the other one. She's like, you're so against it. I can't believe you did it. And she'll hop around. She went into Mary Poppins first and, and then into there. Like, she's totally on board with that, apparently. But I didn't feel too bad about it because I'm like, y'all have these shitty chairs. And I just sat through a movie I paid for in these shitty chairs. I'm going to sit through another movie on your dime in your shitty chairs.
Why do the reclining chairs make a difference of whether you can get caught or not?
Oh my god.
Well, the
No.
reclining chairs are assigned seats.
Oh.
So the recliners, you have to pick a number for the recliner when you purchase your tickets.
Yeah, and if you're sitting in someone else's seat, they won't just kick you out of the
No,
movie. They'll kick
you're
you
out.
out of the theater.
You're out, they'll find you. But because it didn't have it, then you do the, you do the old go to the bathroom, walk out, just walk right into Aquaman really fast.
What'd you think?
I actually enjoyed it. So it wasn't something I would watch over and over again. The woman in it was absolutely gorgeous. And my daughter looked her up afterward. I think it's Amber Heard, who is married to Johnny Depp. She was gorgeous. And, he was, of course, amazing. And you had to, it was a lot of underwater. Like, there were parts where because they're underwater, their hair's, like, going weird. And I'm just trying to watch the movie, and I'm fixated on the hair. And I'm like, I can't see anything else happening because the hair is annoying me. And it's all...
But that's what it would look like
Hypnotizing.
underwater.
Yeah. So Jasper says, I wonder which choices that I've made save me from dying.
Probably a number of them.
Yes. Some women are so jealous, I bet Eve counted Adam's ribs every day to see if another woman had been created. That's funny.
Wow.
So women get jealous. We're human. Women get jealous. Guys
yeah.
get jealous too, though.
I get jealous when you guys are hanging out with other people besides me.
See, it happens. It happens. It's
Okay,
human
can
nature.
I make it? I'm going to follow up on that one because you know what? When my friend Jezebel and my friend Toxi got together, I went, "Wait, what the fuck happened to me?" I'm like, "Y'all are going out, leaving me," and then I went, "Oh,
they're going
I don't
to
go to
places
this."
you don't want to go.
That's what I was
That's
saying.
why.
I'll go and sit and watch, but I'm not going to have fun.
But
Listen,
you will have
you
fun.
gotta
If you're
come
with
next
us,
time.
you'll have fun.
You got to come
Period.
next
She's
time
been
because
telling
I
me
always
that.
end up
You-
on person shoot duty.
Right.
Since you're not going to be doing anything when we go, you need to be on person
Do
shoot
you know
duty.
what's worse
Okay.
than me drunk and crazy? Me drunk and crazy with her.
I
There
can't
is,
wait
like,
to see it, though.
That's the epitome. Like, that's where it tops out. That is like, there's nothing that can expand beyond that. That's it right there. So,
Yeah, I've witnessed it.
So yeah,
Yes.
women do
You've
get
been
jealous,
part of
even
it.
of their friends. So yeah.
I would never admit to that.
I do have video of a lot. But no, you have to come out with us.
I will.
It's fun and you don't have to.
I saw. I wish I remembered. Winter weekend is coming, and Jacob is Plush is holding the opening party.
The
Yes.
27th, I thought.
And we'll grab that and
Yeah.
Crave this weekend. I think
Yes.
today's the last day to buy your tickets online, but afterwards you can pay at the door. I will be there. I don't know any of you
I
guys.
will
They have
not.
also
I'm working.
secured their February date, I believe.
Yes, February 15th,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken. So, so definitely get on there and get your tickets. And Winter Weekend is in February, and Jacob is hosting, I believe, the pre-party as he usually does.
Yes.
At Vanguard, right?
At Vanguard. So definitely go on, check that out. We'll post it out on our site.
Toxi's
you
got to
can go and
check out to see if we're going to be broadcasting from there live,
I'll
as she
reach
does
out.
every year.
I'll reach out to them and find out. It is at the Plaza this year.
What weekend is Winter Weekend?
Winter Weekend
I think
is
it's the 27th or 29th or.
Of this month?
no,
February.
February. I
It
think
can't be the-
22nd, 23rd, 24th, around there.
Well, we can't do the 23rd.
Okay.
So
We
February.
have another event with our group.
All right. What time
Unless you
is
want
it?
to bounce straight
Oh,
from
that's
that
right.
to a remote.
That's true. Well, it's
then
a
I'll have a-
3-hour break in between, because our event ends at 7, and usually that doesn't start till 10.
Yeah, this
You
isn't till
talk about
later.
3-hour break as if we don't have to go immediately back to my house and unload everything that will be in the back of my van
True.
and then reload it with all the equipment.
Oh, no,
Well,
no.
we'll figure it out and then we'll
Yeah,
share it
we'll-
out for
we'll-
everybody.
Whether we go or not, we'll let you know when it is, so you can come.
At the very least, we might go as participants. We may not.
Or I'll go and I'll broadcast. I'll sit in a chair
From
by
your
myself
phone.
with a single microphone and my cell phone.
Maybe
And-
we can get some hot Momoa-looking guys to be our road crew, and they'll set up while we watch.
You know, I tried to set up having a road crew, and it did not happen. And I still road crewed for myself.
Well, you're paying for Match.com. Let's see what we can at least get
Right?
our money's worth.
Listen,
And we're batting 1,000 on that one.
Jasper, drunk and crazy, Toxi O'Shea, never a dull moment. True that. I will not deny that.
I thought my phone died.
Uh-oh.
I just got kicked out.
So what else
I'm
do you
only at
guys have?
3%.
Oh, see?
So,
What else do you guys have going on?
Johnny mentioned hamburgers.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh,
I had to ask
talk
about
about
that. I
that.
didn't even know. That's how bad with social media I am lately.
We only
Oh,
have like 5 minutes, right? Something? Yeah.
So apparently the president tweeted about the massive amounts of fast food that he ordered for I don't even know what.
Let's step back and why he ordered it.
I got it.
The Clemson football team won the national championship, the collegiate level national championship. This is something I will tell you as a parent of a student athlete, at least at the high school level. This is something that I'm certain those kids have worked for since they were 5 years old. Since the first time they could touch a football, they dream of playing in college, in the NFL. And to play in college, you have to be amazing. You have to dedicate so much time, effort, money. You've got to, grades, insane. So you go through all of this and you win this national championship. And because you won this national championship, your reward One of many, but your perk is to go to the White House and have dinner with the President of the United States.
Usually it's a really beautiful, catered affair.
It's a feast. It's a banquet.
Yeah. It's a royal banquet, for God's sakes, because these kids and their parents have sacrificed their whole lives to get to this fucking point. And our president, the classiest motherfucker, he's huge. He knows more about ISIS than even the generals. He gets Burger King? Was it Burger King?
It was from
McDonald's?
3 or 4 different burger places.
McDonald's, Wendy's, and some pizza place.
One other. He didn't even get Chick-fil-A, which is huge in the area where this school is from. Like that's the huge place in their market.
He brought in fast food. Probably because he can't afford to pay the White House chefs because they're all furloughed right now.
Except how many of these burgers did he buy?
Well, first it was
I saw the
300.
picture.
First
Right.
it was 300. Then it was 1,000.
Those motherfuckers are $5 a pop.
Right. However,
for the same amount of money,
he could have easily
I know why he did it.
to prove a point because
He likes
they're furloughed. Well, he did say, I got what I like, and I thought you wouldn't want the little salads that, Melania makes. But he easily...
Did he really disparage the fucking food his wife makes?
Yeah, because she makes tiny salads.
So? Motherfucker, you force her to be that skin. You make her eat those tiny salads. Nah, fuck your Gorn.
So...
Be nice to the Cheeto. Be nice to the Cheeto.
God. Because he assumed that that's what they like.
Did he? How can you? How can you? I could see their trainers blowing their ever fucking loving mind, looking at their players after all these months of
Rigorous
training, nutrition.
With fancy mashed potatoes and crazy ass asparagus arugula salads with some exotic dressing from some place with pecans on top because that's how fancy people do it. But no, they got the same shit they could have picked up on the fucking bus on the way home.
Yeah.
The same.
Stupid.
And you know what? And you know those fucking fries aren't fresh.
No,
you know those fries were not warm.
When he's standing there taking pictures behind it, I'm like
those fries are cold.
McDonald's had to make that shit. Get it? You get through security. Get all that shit through Secret Service. That shit is stone cold. I wouldn't eat that shit at 3 a.m. while I was drunk. And this is what you're serving to this team who works so hard to win. My thought was he was proving a point. That's just my opinion. That he very much.
What point, though?
Because he kept talking about how, his staff is furloughed. And this is what he had to do. And he had to pay for it himself.
It's not like he went out and got the fucking shit. He sent someone out to get it.
But you know why they're furloughed, right?
Because he's throwing a fucking fit over not having his wall.
But why does he say they're furloughed? Because of the Democrats.
Yes.
Therefore, it is our fault.
However,
they
the
fucking
Democrats
ate burgers.
already
It's
gave them
our liberals'
1.6
fault.
billion. Hello.
Jasper says Clemson beat the greatest college coach ever in the Natty for the second time in 4 years, and President Tangerine got him eating Filet-O-Fish by candlelight. Paul said, I would rather spend eternity eating shards of broken glass than to eat dinner with Trump. Margaret says he sent people out to the closest corner to hit them up for dinner. And Jasper says, I wonder if the winner of the Super Bowl, when they go to the White House, ends up getting Taco Bell.
The Super Bowl,
Wow.
the winners of the Super Bowl probably won't go to the White House. Actually, every year, most of them choose, in the recent few years, most have chosen not to go.
2 years.
Right. In the last 2 years, most of them have chosen not to go, and I assume it's probably going to be bigger as time goes on. Although, I will say, how far are we into the football season? We're almost by
almost
Super
done.
Bowl.
Yeah.
I haven't heard one post about the knee. What the fuck?
A lot. My mom watches football all the time, and most of the pregame beginning stuff, they don't do the national anthem while the players are out on the field anymore.
Right, or
But
they
that's
don't.
the way it used to be before. The players didn't come out for the national anthem.
Right.
Do you know why they do?
Because the Army asked them to.
No, the Army paid the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was for a relations thing. Yeah.
Come out and stand.
Right.
All right, we're out of time. Thank you for coming.
My pleasure.
Anytime you're out lifting around or Ubering or whatever, and you're in the area, just stop on by.
Or you're
Absolutely.
just nearby, and you're like, hey, I have to pee. Might as well come on the show.
I've actually considered that before. I am.
Alexia.
I'm Kat.
Toxi.
And Sierra,
And we will see you next week.
if you're brave enough.
Later, bitches.